Hello, everyone. My name is Dalal, and welcome to Popcorn and Soda, the show where we discuss all things movies, pop culture, and so much more. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for making me a small part of your day. Halfway point of the year is here, and that means we have gone through 6 months of films that have come out on the big screen, the small screen, streaming, theatrical, everything in between. And there's some really good movies that came out this year so far, and there's still some very amazing movies that I'm so excited to watch as the year progresses. So it's time, folks. It's time for the annual mid year checkpoint. This is the list in which I'll discuss the movies that I've absolutely loved, movies that I enjoyed, and movies that were pretty disappointing. And this is going to be a list that I spent a lot of time thinking of, and I'm going to try to go in chronological order from the start of the year up until now. There are some movies that are on this list that I have done full reviews of, so I will be kind of going over things that I liked about the movie and why the movie worked for me at the first part. Then we'll transition into films that I thought were okay. They were decent watches, but nothing special. And then the dreaded list of disappointment. Films that I was excited for, but just did not hit it for me. Now, disclosure, not every single movie that I've seen so far this year is on this list. I try to make this into a list of about 15 movies that I've seen so far this year that are like the real big ones that I was excited for and kind of ranking them. So there are many other movies that I've seen that are not on this list, but these are the ones that I really wanted to highlight. Grab yourself a drink, grab a snack. Let's get the show started with the list of films that I absolutely love this year, with number one, in no particular order, Better Man. This movie, as you guys may have seen in my review, is probably going to be in my top 5 by the end of this year. I'm a massive fan of Robbie Williams, and this film is a musical biopic on the life and career of Robbie Williams. And the best part about this movie, it's a CGI monkey that is playing Robbie Williams, and I think that's why I love this movie so much, because just the advancement of technology has gotten us so far where you can actually feel and cry for a monkey. And I'm not even kidding when I say that. It's literally a CGI monkey that is depicted as Robbie Williams, because that's how you kind of saw himself. And just the musical numbers, the heart, the soul, the emotion of this movie, by far one of the best movies I've seen this year, and one I recommend to everyone. The next one, Mickey 17. I'm debating if this may potentially be my favorite movie or not, because to me, Mickey 17 from director Bong Joon-ho, starring Robert Pattinson, is a masterpiece. I don't say that lightly, but that this movie is truly a cinematic masterpiece. Not just the acting of Robert Pattinson, who's doing a role that he's never really done before, just this crazy character who's so lovable and has so much heart, in this space opera of a movie in which humanity is trying to find their next home. Just Stephen Yeun in this movie is such a great supporting actor, but Robert Pattinson delivers a career best in this movie, and a follow-up to Parasite for Bong Joon-ho. I love this movie. I know a lot of people didn't watch this movie, nor were the reviews were kind of mixed, but to me, I thought the heart, the soul, and the morality of this movie is what sold me this entire film. Should we be doing this thing? What is the definition of happiness? How far is too far? And I just loved Mickey 17. It is the... Should I say it? It's tied for my favorite movie of the year so far. Mickey 17, Robert Pattinson, Bong Joon-ho, an absolute watch. The next film. You know this is coming. Everyone knows this is coming, and that is Sinners. This is another masterclass from Ryan Coogler. I absolutely loved this movie. It takes a genre of like vampires and horror, and it creates it into a life of like an underdog story of these two brothers, Smoke and Stack, both played by Michael B. Jordan. This is such a fun time at the theater, especially this was a big, I feel like this was the big blockbuster of this year, so far at least, with the IMAX cameras, the different shots. This movie is amazing. Again, the best part about this movie is that it's such a fun movie that you can just watch. The score of this movie is quite possibly the best I've heard from Ludwig Göransson, who is one of the prime top-notch composers in the industry today. This movie's so fun. I watched this twice, both in IMAX, and I loved it even more the second time. Shout out to Jack O'Connell, who steals the movie for me. This movie is such a fun time. This is a popcorn movie at its best because not only are you enjoying it, but you feel for these characters. And again, Michael B. Jordan, career best for Michael B. Jordan. I truly feel that. He plays twins in the film, and they're both so different. And Michael B. just crushes it. Coogler crushes it. The supporting cast, this movie rocks. Sinners is on my list. The next one is Marvel's Thunderbolts, and I absolutely love this as well. I thought this was such a return to form for Marvel. It was fun. It was lighthearted. There was a lot of emotional, serious scenes. This is a movie about Earth's not so greatest heroes. So all the other superheroes that aren't Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and it kind of tells us the story of what happens to them when they're out there and they're like anti-heroes. They're not really saving the world, but they're not doing good things either until they decide to come together. So again, I love the ensemble of this cast. I thought it was such a fun movie. Sentry was a great character in it. I love the score. I love the tone. I love that ending. I know it caught me so off guard when that ending came, and I don't want to spoil it, but I just loved it. And this was just, it felt like old school Marvel, where it wasn't too complicated. It wasn't too confusing. It focused on the good stuff. And I love Thunderbolts. I think this was the movie to return Marvel to form heading into Fantastic Four. The last two. This was a movie I didn't even care about going until this year, and it's on my list. Ballerina. This movie was John Wick on steroids. I absolutely love this movie. Now, self-admittedly, I'm not really a big Ana de Armas fan, and I always felt like her acting's very one-note, but she's so badass in this movie. I love Ballerina. It is the best mindless, sit back, watch the movie film I've seen all year. And you just have a big smile on your face because the action scenes in this movie compare, or if not even top, the John Wick movies. Ana de Armas, I gotta, again, give her flowers because she was amazing in this movie. The supporting cast, the world of John Wick, it's so rich. It's such like a modern day great franchise in which now I love that there was a spin-off about a completely different character within that universe, and good old John Wick still happens to show up in this. So again, Ballerina is one of my favorite movies of the year. Now, the last movie that I'm going to add on this list is a little bit unfair in the sense that I actually watched this movie last year at the Toronto International Film Festival, but it came out again this year, and well, it actually came out this year. It didn't actually even come out last year, which was kind of confusing. And I think it kind of did the movie a little disservice. But anyways, The Life of Chuck. This hit me even harder this time around. I've seen this movie 3 times in the theaters, and I watched it at TIFF. I saw a press screening, and I saw it again after that as well. I feel like this is the movie that every human needs to watch. It is such a beautiful movie about being in the moment, living life presently. We worry so much about the future, and we worry so much about the past, things that we have no control of directly, that we forget to live in the present, the only thing that we're promised. And the cast, the score, the crazy way that the movie's actually broken down, and the 3 different act structure of it. This is probably my favorite movie of the year. Like I said, Mickey 17 and this kind of neck. I know it's still early in the year, but I truly think Life of Chuck will be in my top 3 by the end of the year. Not a single dry eye in the movie theater. And to be honest, I think this is a movie that really can give everyone purpose, that it makes you reflect on your own life and your own relationships with your family, friends. And man, this movie hits you right at your core. And I cannot wait to watch this movie again. The Life of Chuck is truly a movie that everyone needs to watch. Do yourself a favor and watch this film. So, those are the movies that, as I mentioned, are really the ones that impressed me, the movies that I absolutely love. What about movies that not so much, but I still thoroughly enjoyed? And this list are films that I really enjoyed. I just did not think they are on that top tier that I just went through. So for this, again, we're gonna rapid fire through some of these as I have done full reviews. Number one, Captain America: Brave New World. This is a controversial one because a lot of people did not really enjoy this film, but I really did. I thought Anthony Mackie was great in this movie, and I really thought Harrison Ford was Harrison Ford in this movie. Like, he had that aura that he does. It felt very spy, like episode of 24, like an espionage kind of vibe to it, and I really enjoyed it. I really, really did. Now, is this the best of the MCU? No, I would say this is mid to lower tier MCU, but for whatever reason, like, I didn't understand all the hate that came with this movie. I know there was a lot of reports about reshoots, this and that, but I had a great time. Anthony Mackie led this film great. I liked the score, I liked the structure of the film, and I liked the Red Hulk. I really did. So, and Captain America: Brave New World, I thought it was a very enjoyable movie. The next one is Warfare. This is another movie in which A24 and Alex Garland re-team up. And listen, there's no winners in war, right? There's no winner or losers. There shouldn't be any wars in the world. It's so unfortunate. And this movie tells a tale of a squad that's together, and it's a very finite, in the moment movie where it specifically focuses on this squad of soldiers during the Iraq War. And it kind of just tells you about the spirit of trying to make it through a very dangerous and tricky war, right? I feel like films that are made on wars that have just happened, or even in the past, they're always a touchy subject because, again, I think it's so wrong that these things are happening. But in the context of the film, Alex Garland really captured the essence of war and the destruction of it and what it can do and does to people. So that's a movie that I really enjoyed. Bring Her Back. You guys know horror is my favorite genre, and I love movies about cults. I love movies about just this person next door, that creepy person that you don't really know who they are, and this is a prime example of this movie. It's a film that really uses suspense and body gore in many ways as part of the movie, and it's not going to be for everyone, I will say that. I think it starts off really, really well. The ending was a little out there, but it gets you squeamish. It really, really does. And if you're into movies about bringing back the dead or cults or movies like The Visit or anything found footage, stuff like this, there's elements of that in this. And Bring Her Back is definitely a great, great acting performance from Sally Hawkins, if not her best. She was amazing in this movie, like cringy and like just uncomfortable. And the kids that were in this movie were great as well. I don't want to get too much into what the movie's about because it kind of gives spoilers, but I really enjoyed Bring Her Back. All right, the last two films, blockbuster films, one from Mr. Cruise and one from Mr. Pitt. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I like this movie 10 times more than Dead Reckoning, the one that came out before. And I thought it was a good Mission Impossible movie. To me, a Mission Impossible movie is one I can take the entire family with, like my mom and my dad and my brother. And anytime a Tom Cruise movie comes out, that's like kind of our ritual. I hated the last Mission Impossible. I thought it was the biggest step back in the entire franchise, but this I really enjoyed. Now, do I think this is the same level as Fallout or Rogue Nation? No. Those were like peak, top tier Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. But I enjoyed this movie. For a movie that was 3 hours long almost, the runtime kind of flew by. And of course, Tom Cruise doing Tom Cruise things, and that airplane sequence is wild. But I just like the flow of this movie. It was a really fun movie with a lot of throwbacks to the original first and like second and third Mission Impossible films. So I had a great time with this movie. It was fun, it was loud, it was nerve wracking, and I really liked the ending. That was very Ethan Huntish. Lastly, the movie that I'm going to say that I enjoyed, F1. Brad Pitt can do no wrong, I feel like sometimes when it comes to these kinds of movies, because he's just kind of playing Brad Pitt. Like, yes, he's playing the character of Sonny Hayes, who is this down and out race car driver who had some bad luck, which caused him to not really become the driver he was supposed to. And of course, he comes back from the help of his friend Javier Bardem, who knew him from back in the day, to kind of work underneath this team of it's like a made up team. It's not like a Mercedes, Ferrari, or Red Bull or anything of such. Working with this youngster, Joshua Pierce, played by Damson Idris. And I was debating if this movie should be on this list or if it should be on my disappointing list. And I'll tell you why. And ultimately why it won over. The way this movie is designed, the sound, the larger than life IMAX screen, just all the semantics of F1. I love that. I thought it was really, really good filmmaking. And it kind of wanted to make it as like the Top Gun of race car driving movies. And I think it failed to do that. But I think I really like Brad Pitt in this. Brad Pitt, again, he's just playing Brad Pitt in many ways, but he has that aura in these kinds of movies. And I think that's why I really liked it. Now, again, this is not going to be for everyone. It's a very long movie and it's very cliche. So you can probably know what's going to happen as you watch the movie. But I had a great time with it. It was a good summer fun movie. And the story, you get invested in it. Midway through it, you really start to get invested in it. That's why I think F1 was such a great movie. So there you have it, folks. That is the second tier movies that I enjoyed but didn't truly love, right? So comment below so far. How are you feeling about the list? Are there movies on my list that you have on yours so far? Let me know. I really am curious because some of these movies I had to debate if I should put them in tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 really. So it all really depends on perspective. Lastly, these are movies that I was pretty disappointed by. Now, there were elements of this movies that I enjoyed, but overall, it just didn't hit it for me. I'm going to start off with the movie I wanted to love. I wanted to love this movie. My guilty pleasure genre, folks, is romantic comedies. And The Materialist, to me, was the biggest letdown so far this entire year. It was almost trying to make Past Lives, Celine Song, trying to make that movie into a North American kind of movie. And it doesn't work. At least for me, it doesn't work. Because I feel like Dakota Johnson was really wooden in this. I loved Chris Evans in this movie. I thought he was the best part. And you could tell Chris Evans is really trying to make this movie work. I like Pedro Pascal. I think he's really badass. But I think we're getting a oversaturation of him in movies where he's kind of now just Pedro Pascal in movies, if that makes any sense. This movie had so much like potential, but I just didn't like the character of Dakota Johnson. Like, I didn't care for her as a character and her motives. That she wants to date this rich guy and live that life, but then she's like, no, I like the guy who's broke and doesn't even want to stay here. And I know it's realistic, but just the way it came across in the movie, it was very disappointing. I thought there was no heart in it really for me, and the scenes that did work were very Chris Evans heavy. Like, Chris Evans really runs this movie, and that's the only reason why I liked it even a little, is because of him. And it's not really even a romantic comedy. It's more so like an art house A24 movie, more so than the way it's marketed. And I wish I liked it, but I really did not. Like, the whole time I'm watching this and I'm like, ugh. Anyways, The Materialist sadly is on this list. This next one's going to surprise some of you because I did like parts of it, but I wish I liked it more. Again, that's Lilo and Stitch. I loved the scenes with Stitch and the girl. I truly, truly did. But that's kind of it. I didn't care about the story. I didn't care about the stakes of Lilo's sister. But at the same time, like those two stole every scene they were in. They were sweet, cute, a lot of heart. But the reason why I'm putting this movie on this list is kind of the opposite of The Materialist. Materialist, I just did not like at all. Lilo and Stitch, I wanted to like, and there were parts that I liked, but I couldn't put myself to put this into the list of films that I enjoyed because I'm pretty empty watching this, and kind of wish I didn't because I really wanted to love this movie more than I did. But hey, all good. Maybe the second one I'll enjoy more. The next one on the list is The Electric State. Now, again, I liked parts of this movie, but it just felt like a Netflix movie that they kind of rushed. And hearing that it had like a budget of almost 300 million just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Like Millie Bobby Brown was good in it. She's a good actress. She's good in everything I find that she does. But overall, I didn't care too much for the story. Chris Pratt was playing Chris Pratt, kind of like a Star Lord, and the Russo brothers, who I really like. Just not the best day in the office for them. It was just a film that was too convoluted. It was too overstuffed. I think the kid me would have loved this movie. I really do. I loved these kind of movies growing up, and that's why I think parts of this movie I still really enjoyed. But overall, kind of a meh. The next one, The Amateur. It's all right. If you want to believe like a tech guy can become an undercover super soldier / spy running around worldwide killing people, then yeah, this movie's right going to be up your alley. So there's that level of disbelief you need to have. But I am such a big Rami Malek fan. I thought he did a great job in this movie. But just the movie overall didn't really work for me. The less said about it, the better. But hey, I love Rami Malek. The last movie I wanted to put on this list is a movie, again, that started off with so much promise and just fell apart for me at the end. And that is The Monkey. Like I said, horror is my favorite genre. I love it. And again, Oz Perkins making these kinds of movies, it goes back to Longlegs. It started off great, but then it went off the rails at the end. And The Monkey deals with the exact same problem. And it kind of sucks because I wanted to like this movie. I love horror. That monkey is creepy. It's got aura. But overall, like, it just didn't... The movie didn't gel. And I think that's where it went wrong because it had a great start point. The middle start to kind of dip. And then by the third act, it was completely downhill. And it's unfortunate because I feel like that's twice in a row now Oz has done this with Longlegs and The Monkey. But I know a lot of people that enjoyed it, and that's cool, man. That's the beauty of cinema. Something that I like, you may not like. Something that you like, I may not. And that is why movies are art, my friend. We all view it differently, and my opinion's no more valid than yours, and vice versa. So, again, I wish I liked The Monkey more than I did. Ultimately, a dud. There you have it, folks. That is my list of movies that I really enjoyed, movies that were okay, and movies that I just was let down by. Comment below. I want to see how many of these movies are on your list. But hey, the best part about this is only half the year. We still have the rest of the year, all the festival movies, the Oscar movies. There's still a few more summer movies. July is going to be crazy. Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World, Eddington. That's just July. Now wait till August, September. This is gonna be a wild, wild year. I do see probably 2 or 3 of these movies ending up on my top 10 list of the year. But again, I'm excited for what the rest of the year has to come. As always, I greatly appreciate it if you can take 5 seconds out of your day and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that little notification bell. As always, my name is Dalal, and I'll see you next time on Popcorn. and soda.